As promised, this is the final segment of the stew. On your Saturday night, I hope it's going well. We all need a little music, a little love to get through this week that just happened. This was an ugly week, and we don't even live in the United States of America, and yet we just watched this amazing political race end badly, head-on collision. So you need music, and how about a Saturday night with the Trews? We're starting a cross-Canada tour, a district in Victoria. They kind of, this is the same spot that the tragedy hit, started their last and final tour across the country. Did you watch that unfold? How did you read that tour?
Well, it was really hard and very emotional. We're really good friends with the band. We did a record with Gordon Sinclair, the bass player. He's a really good friend, and it was something we knew about for a while. And we're just huge hip fans, and big admirers. One of the big inspirations for why we even started doing it. We just always loved the way they went about it and all the music. And yeah, I just have a hard time. I'm still having a hard time with it actually. And yeah, it was really emotional.
It was incredible to see it. I saw two shows. I saw Hamilton and Toronto, and I watched Kingston. I wasn't able to make it to Kingston, but I watched it live on TV. It was amazing how good they were, how good they still were. Like Hamilton especially blew me away. I was just down in the front, and when they got cooking, it was like they could have been a band on their debut album. Like they had so much fire left in them, and it was still very, very good. You know, it's damn good.
I saw the Toronto show and I had the same feeling. It was just like the greatest band on earth. And then the next 2 days later, I went to LA and I went to see Guns N' Roses on their reunion tour. And just after seeing the hit and being that present and that emotional, and it's like the other thing to see like a pageantry of empty gestures was just weird. It wasn't fun at all. It was very nostalgic and strange. No offense, I love Guns N' Roses too, but watching the hit was just so powerful. And it was life or death. And really, that's what makes rock and roll great.
So here you are, thank you for that. Here you are in Victoria, starting another journey across the country. You've done many of them. This one is very special in that it's a remembrance.
It's our 6th album, but we've done 2 EPs and a live album in there as well. So it's maybe number 7 or 8, something along those lines. We're calling it a best loved.
Yeah.
The best loved.
Well, I like the fact that actually it's also fan favorites. It's not just the hits that we saw that we know you for. It's also the ones that are called out from stage.
Yeah, for us, I mean, I put the list together based on what resonates in front of the audience. And certain songs, like people come like, you didn't play Ishmael and Maggie tonight. It's my favorite song off your second record. It's the last song on the record. It was never released as a single, but it resonated. So I thought it was important to pick the songs that were resonating and have continued to resonate throughout the years.
John Angus McDonald, his brother Colin, and we were talking about Time Capsule. What's tunes were absolutely guaranteed to be on now?
Well, I'm not ready to go, tired of waiting, so she's leaving. Like some of the ones that early on kind of opened the doors for us all together. I mean, like before Not Ready to Go became a hit, we were playing with 10 people a night or opening for other bands, and then that song became a hit. And it was in the old world. I call it the old world. And radio and Much Music were really everything, and like literally overnight. I mean, it might be hard for people of this generation to understand, but it went from overnight, all of a sudden we're on Much Music and on the radio, and we're just packing and selling out places all over the country. And next thing you know, moms and dads are coming to us and asking us to give advice to their kids about the future. Like months earlier, they're like, "Don't talk to them about anything. They don't
Stay away from those guys."
It was nice. It was really cool. So those songs had to go on there.
And it wasn't just Much Music. It was Much East.
Much East. Yeah, we talked about this. The absolute pinnacle of making it in our high school beginnings or post-high school beginnings was to be featured on Much East. All the bands wanted that. It was so sought after. We pestered Mike all the time, and he was like, "Oh, I'll find time for you boys at some point." And during an ECMAs, he came to our dressing room with his camera, came down the steps, and like, "I'm gonna put you on Much East."
Freaked out.
Yeah, it was like the pinnacle at the time.
Yeah.
And the fact is that there's 2 books out there now. One by Denise Donlan, who ran the place and everything else in Canada, and Christopher Ward, who was the original VJ.
Denise signed us to Sony. I should mention that. By the time we came along, she was running Sony Music, and she saw us play at another East Coast Music Awards early on. This is a total digression. I'm sorry to interrupt, but she signed us.
It's your life.
She signed us to Sony, and we did our first 2 albums with Sony, with her as president.
What was that first name?
Not ready
to go was the breakthrough.
Yeah.
We had a couple other little tryouts before that, but the big one was not ready to go.
Okay, I'm going to play it. What should we know about the tune? What do you remember? What are the memories?
It was written one day in a dilapidated house in Niagara Falls that we were renting and jamming in while we played gigs around Southern Ontario, and we wrote it one morning. It was a riff that our bass player Jack had, and I remember that day well for some reason. Angus and Jack went to see The Who that night, and Sean and I went and played our own solo gig at a little wine bar to make $200.
All right. We are talking this is Mulligan Stew and CKWA Radio Network. This is Mulligan Stew on Roundhouse Radio 98.3 Vancouver, and we are actually videotaping this as well. So this companion videotape is going to be on mulliganstew.ca. You can find it there. Colin and John Angus MacDonald from the Trews talking about Time Capsule, the tour, and the album, and the life. Because I know how strong the music of the Maritimes courses through the veins of people in and out of the music business there. Literally, it comes out of the air. I keep listening for traces of where you came from, or where you might have been, or what you might have played or done, and it occasionally shows itself.
You can hear it in I Can't Stop Laughing, I'm Not Even Happy. The late great Ron Hines gifted us with the chorus line. He's like, I'm tired of writing songs, but I still have all these great lines.
Glass of Jameson.
Yeah. So you can hear it in songs like that. You can hear it in songs like Ishmael and Maggie. You can hear it in songs like Highway of Heroes with bagpipes and tin whistle and accordion and violin going on in it. But I think the part that really stuck with us, because we weren't really into trad music. It was in the air, like you said. It's everywhere. Kitchen parties, and, pubs, and bars and restaurants. It was everywhere, but we weren't really into it. We were listening to Sloan and Thrasher and the Super Friends and like that stuff, and then other stuff, other formative stuff for us. But I think what really stuck with us was the sort of like unpretentious approach. That's like a really trademark of the East Coast, where it's not a big star culture. It's like everybody's involved, everybody's welcome, everybody's singing, and that's sort of the part that we carry with us, even though we don't play that like trad type of music. That attitude, I think, has stuck with us in what we do.
Were you seen as outsiders even then?
Oh yeah, we could get arrested on the East Coast. Some of the reasons we moved away, and we weren't that good. I mean, we needed to go out and cut our teeth, and we had to go out and tour on our own and stuff like that. But we were definitely, I didn't really feel like we were really accepted down there at first. But then, as we got more success, we moved to Ontario. The East Coast was one of the first places to embrace us, and we've always worn our Atlantic Celtic colors proudly.
Nice. That would be a good warm-up for vocals.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. You asked this question of certain people, not everybody, and that is, when did you finally get it, that they were getting it, that all of a sudden there was a forward momentum happening? And some artists will say, when I saw their lips moving in time with me, and these are audiences we were just trying to win over, that told me that we were on the right track.
I think it was a little bit before that. Like, obviously, what Colin said earlier about getting on the radio and getting on TV, it was an overnight wave of moving their lips in time. They just knew the songs. But I think when it became clear that we were sort of on the right track was we set up a series of residency gigs in Southern Ontario. So every Tuesday we were in Hamilton, every Wednesday we were in the Falls, every Thursday we were in Toronto at Jeff Healy's old place. He hired us to be like a house band for a while. And every week, especially in Niagara and Hamilton, the crowds got bigger and bigger, and it got more exciting, and we were like looking forward to it, and like people were expecting a little more and something a little different. And there was this like buzz in the air that we could feel like there's a group of people that are finding us and digging what we do. And I think without sort of that, nothing would happen.
Which it's interesting. We'll go back to Much Music for a second. The interesting thing about Much Music was the effect it had, because bands on the East Coast would never be heard on the West Coast. True. But all of a sudden, once you got on Much Music, you had a platform.
It's a calling card. Yeah.
It's a shame. It's a shame that it's no longer. I mean, or it's not doing that anyway.
It's a cooking show.
It's not breaking bands. It's not breaking bands. I mean, if anything, it's like it's a bit of a Me Too thing now. It's like it's big on YouTube. I guess we'll play them. So it's not discovering and exposing. It's following. Fortunately. Sorry much.
Yeah. If you're just joining us, we're at District in Victoria, where the Time Capsule Tour is about to kick off across Canada. I've got John Angus and Colin MacDonald from the Trews, and they are doing this tour. They're going coast to coast, my friends, and they have Alberta dates as well. like a handful.
Quite a
You guys
few.
are going to hang around Alberta.
One of our best, one of the best provinces for us. So we're going to play like in 2 nights in Grand Prairie. We're going to play Calgary, Bridge Medicine, Airdrie, Red Deer. We can go to all the places.
And why Alberta? Why do you think? What is it?
Originally, I think it was a really big East Coast presence. There's a lot of East Coasters that went out to Fort McMurray to work, and Grand Prairie, and Calgary, and we used to show up there. Every time we played the Stampede, it was just, it might as well have been Cape Breton. You know what I mean? It was just, people were going nuts. It was like always the funnest show of the summer. A lot of Nova Scotia flags and stuff. And so I think it started with that and kind of grew from there. Because there was shit tons of people are coming to see these guys. Might as well go too, So I think that's what it has a lot to do with that.
What's your favorite moment, or what will be your favorite moment here in Victoria and across the country? Because these tunes represent the road that you've traveled. They are your memories as much as they are ours. Which one carries the most weight, do you think?
Well, especially this time of year, it's got to be Highway to Heroes. And that was a song written in 2009. We wrote with Gordie Johnson, a guy who's factored bigly into our future. And it's just a really emotional song. It was written about a girl from the East Coast named Nicola, from our hometown, Annie Ganesh. She was killed in combat in 2006 in Afghanistan. We wrote a song for her, and that song just seems to have carried a lot of weight over the years. And it was just a song we wrote one night, and released as a single on its own, and it just kind of took on a life. So,
Have you heard it played at a Remembrance Day celebration?
yeah, we've heard it a bunch. Like every year, we get tons of messages to the office saying the kids in certain grade schools across the country are doing it as their song. We had a really special moment on a tour in 2010 around the acoustic tour, and we went to Cranbrook, and the local elementary school had rehearsed that song to do for Remembrance Day, and we just happened to be in town.
As a choir?
As a choir. So the whole class of grade 1 to 6, they were all sitting in the gym, and they'd been learning the song from our YouTube clip. So literally when we walked in there, it was the closest we ever felt to Beatlemania for our band. And I don't mean to sound like that's really arrogant thing to say, but they'd seen us, our ugly mugs, on YouTube, like probably 25 times while they were learning the song, even more. And then finally, the guys from the thing came in as a surprise and sang. We came into the school and sang it with them as a surprise. And we walked in, and the kids, it was pandemonium. It's still on YouTube. It's like the Trews in Cranbrook in 2010. And some kids were freaking out so much that some were running out of the gym like something terrible was happening. Like crying was crazy. And I remember just thinking, like, because we kind of stumbled out of the bus, just worse for the wear. Like it was morning after the show, and we were just like, okay, what are we doing? And we walked in there, and it was just insane. It was the most insane reaction I've ever heard from our band, probably in my life.
Let's play the tune.
All right.
Hold your roll. Minutes. On this very night, the Trews will walk on stage at the Commodore Ballroom and we'll lay it all out for you. I don't know your history with the room. How many times have you been in there?
Never counted, but it's got to be over half a dozen. But maybe 6, 7, 8, something like in that area. Because we also, well, early on we did 2 nights there opening for Big Sugar on one of our first national outings.
That was our first time.
And then we've probably headlined it at least 5, maybe 6 times. So 8, I want to say.
Every record except for one when we started doing it, we did the vote.
Right.
Yeah.
How do you like the room?
I love it. It's Commodore. You can't not like it. I mean, it's one of those places that they've got a shower backstage, and they've got like 5 different backstage rooms, so the singer can have his own room.
They have a smoking room.
And it's like, and you can drink and party there, and it's really like, it's rock and roll.
There was a radio station I was working for in Vancouver that decided they were 99 on the dial, that they would do 99-cent concerts. I think it was 99 cents. And so they got the bands of the day that were just breaking. So you got to see U2,
Oh wow.
the Police. I think the Stooges were part of that as well.
That's Vancouver. Crazy. Got so many legendary bands. Like I think even more so than Toronto, or maybe it just felt like that because it was like on their way up. Like especially the Seattle bands and stuff. Like I have a friend Dave Gann who lives in yeah, he plays in the 40s, but a good buddy of all of ours. And he was just telling me about times like he went to see Pearl Jam in front of like 10 or 20 people. They were just coming up to do a warm-up gig.
I went to interview Randy Bachman, who had just, it was 85, they just came back from some success in the States.
Yeah.
And I'm doing the interview up in the lighting booth, and he said, I could hear the first band kick in. He said, you know who's opening for us? I said, no. He said, it's ZZ Top. Are you crazy? And went down there, there were easily 112 people. That was it.
Insane.
What, was that at Commodore? Was that
At the Commodore Ballroom.
Wow. I mean, it's
And see, Nirvana used to come up here. It's just such a short drive from Seattle, and yeah.
I think there's something that happens with rooms that get that much greatness. It's kind of seeps into the walls and into the stage and into the floor. And you got to sort of think that it's around you, you know, when you're in a room like that.
So while we're at this juncture, let's put the Trews place in Canadian music. It's tough for you because you are the Trews,
Yeah.
and it's your life. But give us, let's just throw out that question.
Some days I feel like we're underrated. Other days I feel like we're overrated.
How's today?
I feel good. I feel all right. This is a good interview. So
It's Saturday, right?
By the way, thank you for the good questions and the thoughtful
Thanks.
interview. That makes everything better for us. But yeah, I feel all right. I feel really good. But mostly just because this interview feels good and it's awesome.
Are you asking us where our place is in Canadian music?
Yeah, I realize I'm asking you to talk about yourselves in that respect, but I mean, this is a retrospective. This is time capsule.
Right. I guess
this is your mark.
It's a legitimate question.
Yeah.
I think that we're not like as flat out hard rock as what everybody kind of thinks. I mean, now I'm talking about kind of style of music. I think that we're kind of more about the songs, but we play them loud and hard, and that confuses some people. But I think at the end of the day, we'll be judged by the songs, what they mean to people. I mean, I'm not sure about some overarching presence in the scene. Everything we've earned by, you know, grit. We worked really hard. We continue to work really hard.
And we didn't go
on and off the road.
And where a lot of bands would have gone away in the past, we shook it up and just tried to do something else and stayed around.
You did say something about Mr. Game, and that is that he took the songbook of 5440 and did the acoustic version that I have totally fallen in love with.
Yeah.
One Gun, all this hard stuff that they did, he turned it, it's acoustic, but it's not acoustic, it's just different.
We've done that.
Could you see yourself?
We've done that. Yeah, we put out a live acoustic record in 2009, and every 2 years since we've done acoustic tours. That's one of the ways that we've shaken it up, and it's given people a different insight into what we do, and we play songs that people don't necessarily associate us with, you know.
And that's a band that we respect a lot. Is 5440. I mean, they got a great career and they're a huge Canadian band, but I think people people need to be reminded of what a great batch of material.
Yeah.
I saw them out in Comox, British Columbia in the summer, and it was like a really great night. And I was lucky enough that they asked me. I jumped up on stage and sang backups on a couple of tunes for them. But like, there's so many great songs.
Wait a minute, did they ask you?
No, I kind of made this up. I was just like, come on. But it was, what a great band, what a great bunch of songs.
Speaking of a great bunch of songs, there's 4 new tracks on the album, The Beautiful and Tragic, a lot of work, love. Sing Your Heart Out in Chinese Kites, and we were kind of agree on maybe you could do a quick performance for us.
Yeah, we'd love to. That's cool.
Which tune?
We're gonna do Chinese Kites. Yeah, because it's one of the new ones we recorded for Time Capsule. It's been the show opener on the tour, and it's been setting the tone very nicely so far. So do it for you right now.
Have a great tour.
Thanks a lot.
Man.
Thank you for the tune.
Thank you,
Cheers.
Travis.
What's the website?
thetruesmusic.com. Yeah.
Just Google the Trews. Everything's there. It's
I
all-
don't even go to the website anymore. It's like, oh, it's Facebook or whatever.
Travel well, boys.
Yeah, thank you.
Colin and John Angus McDonald are representing the Trews. Well, they have a quorum. The tour and the album is called Time Capsule. Check it out. Your life will flash in front of your eyes.